Hi, welcome to JJ's Productions. We've got another Stoke City Vlogcast. With me as always is Jan. How are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you. Hope you're all okay and that you enjoyed the match on Saturday.
I'll put it like this. I know the 2-2 draw at Villa has raised a little bit of debate in the sense of, yes, a lot of people would have been happy with a point at Villa, and the other side of the argument is we were on the cusp of victory and once again we throw it away. So I'm curious where you're standing on it.
That's what's going on me wick at the minute, that we can't hold on to a lead. Twice now it's happened in the last few weeks, and we're in the lead and then just out of the blue they score.
Yeah, it's definitely a recurring theme in that I'm sure I've read a stat that in our last 5 away games we could have got wins if we'd have just held on instead of getting goals conceded. I mean that's part and parcel of any unbeaten run really, especially for how we've been playing this season, but I do understand why some people are frustrated that out of a 9-game unbeaten run we could have had a lot more wins had we just kept the defence tight at the end.
I think they're quite blasé about it. I mean, I'm going back to times before as well, that when Stoke have been in the lead, they get this attitude, we're in the lead, we can back off a bit now.
I mean, that's definitely what seems to be the mentality at the moment, that we get a lead and we do back off. Now, what I've heard, because, I have to stress this again, we aren't at the game, so we can't verify it ourselves. Please let us know if you can comment otherwise. But from what I've heard, it wasn't that case against Villa. We didn't back off and let Villa attack us. We did actually try to keep attacking them. And it sounds like they just got a lucky break to get their second equaliser. So I think we were hard done by. I mean, again, I've heard a few comments from Villa supporters via Twitter, and that's just been a general thing of, yeah, we were lucky, you deserve more than the point. So yeah, I'm actually optimistic in that sense, because Villa were a team who I was really not looking forward to playing.
Yeah.
And to not only get a point but also get some plaudits of sorts from Villa supporters, I think, you know what, if we can just keep this level of performance going, maybe we can get the results as the season goes on.
I mean, I noticed again on Saturday that they were in the attitude that the first 20 minutes, that they aren't bothered. They're just still warming up.
You could argue the first half was a bit like that, only because I was paying more attention in the first half. I mean, I drifted a little bit in the second, oddly enough, when the goals all went in. But the first half, there didn't seem to be a lot going on. I mean, maybe again, I don't know, maybe I'm just letting my own reporting sense go down here a little, but I'm going to say...
I didn't do none of me. No, I wasn't like that.
Yeah, I mean...
there was no good chances.
I mean, in fairness, I think that's for both sides. I mean, Villa didn't really frighten me, but really Stoke just in the sense frightened me,
They didn't excite you.
Like, it's more like Villa weren't doing anything, but I knew Stoke could do something that would let Villa in, so you're not ever in a comfortable position with Stoke right now, but I wasn't completely on edge either, where I was expecting something, it was just pretty drab and calm.
I was quite happy when the whistle went for first half, I've got to admit. I thought, thank God for that.
I mean, the one positive about this game, and it's just carrying on in the chronology of the game, is that Joe Allen got a goal. I mean, yeah. I know you might say, well, yeah, he's scoring already, but I think it's just a sign he is getting there now. He had a very slow start to the season in the position that I don't believe is his best. Even now I don't believe it's his best position, but he is actually adapting better now. Whereas at the start of the season, he looked like a fish out of water. And I think if he can maintain this level of performance throughout the season, we have got arguably one of the best players in the division in our midfield. So you just look at it and you think, if we can keep him going, it's a positive for us, because then you've also got the fact that Benicophobe scored from the penalty spot. Again, it's a penalty, but at least he's scoring. So it's small little positives that second half produced.
Well, I was listening to it on Radio Stoke and Liam Lawrence was there, and I do trust in what he's saying. He's very forthright in what he does say about Stoke. If they're playing rubbish, he says it, he calls a spade a spade. But he did actually comment on Ryan, what a good game he was having.
which is good to hear. I mean, if anything, a little bit of my focus is on Glenn Whelan for the other side, because I just had this horrible feeling he'd do something to impact the game, and oddly enough he did with Villa's second, in that Eric Peters went down and Glenn was the guy who played the ball out to the wide man to cross it in for Kodja. So, yeah.
Talking about that, that's annoyed me, and I did say to you at the time, the ref should have blown his whistle, because at the time, only by what the radio and what Lawrence and Nigel Johnson said, that they thought it was a head injury.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of debate, and if you're a Villa or a Millwall supporter, feel free to chime in here as well, just in a general sense. But
don't pick on me.
I'm just watching it from this side, and I'll admit, I'm more annoyed at the defence for not keeping going and trying to keep the ball out, rather than the referee for not blowing up. Because in my view, the defenders should keep playing until the whistle blows, even if you've lost Eric. Whereas I think some of them were that busy looking at him going, oh, we've got a man down there, instead of actually focusing on the game.
Yeah.
But again, I'll have some contradictions from those at the game as well, because again, I can only see what I've got limited views of.
Yeah, I'm just saying what Liam Lawrence says, that the ref should have blown his whistle, because it did look like a bad injury at the time.
Yeah.
And if he had blown his whistle, they wouldn't have scored.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting debate in my eyes. Who's more at fault? Is it a referee for not doing his job and blowing a whistle? Or is it the defenders for not actually doing the job and letting the referee?
Well, I'm a true Stoke supporter, love, so it's obviously the ref's fault. I'm sorry, I'm very one-sided. I can't help it. Stoke is in my blood.
Oh, I'm getting flashbacks to Howard Webb and Mark Halsey on the touchline here. But anyway, we're going to move on a little bit, because there hasn't been much in the news as far as Stoke City goes, but there has been one story that just caught my eye, and it was regarding a ex-Stoke City loanee, Jesé Rodriguez. Now, he's not someone I like to mention at the best of times, but I saw a little story circulating on Twitter about the fact that he's spent over €5,000 to get his ex-girlfriend off a reality TV show, i.e. voting her out like on Big Brother or something.
Oh, I do wish I swore.
I mean, this is just the pinnacle of footballers that you just think, you bellend.
Thank you.
I'm just so glad he is gone, and I never thought that when he signed. I'm not saying I thought he'd be an angel or anything, but equally, I didn't realise what such a tosser he would be, and I'm so glad he isn't at the club anymore.
I just think he's very sad, folks. I don't need to use that language.
I could use worse. But yeah.
Yes, I know what you're saying. He is a saddo.
I mean, if anything, when I'm talking in some past videos about the job Gary Rowett's got at the club in the sense of rebuilding and he does need time, it's players like him that I actually look at and I think, I'm glad they've gone. I know he was only on a loan, but it was terrible recruitment. There is no other word to describe it unless you do go to swearing. And for me, that is just the pinnacle of the worst Stoke City signings you've ever seen. I mean, you've got from the 90s backwards to work with, but as far as I'm concerned, Jesé is the worst. Maybe Kevin Wimmer is up there as well, but as far as Wimmer, he's just unfit and, well, to be honest, I could go on to a bit of a rant about Wimmer, but Jesé, as far as just his personality, I'm no wonder he hasn't gained a game at Paris Saint-Germain.
You've gone off on one there, lad.
Yeah.
Way off the scheme of things there.
Well, to be honest, I saw the story about Jesé, and to be honest, in my head, it just seemed like an easy excuse to have a rant for 2 minutes. So yeah, let's move on to your stats. Go on, what have you got?
Okay. Right. Millwall. They've won 4, they've drawn 7, and they've lost 11.
You know, that's a little bit worse than I was expecting, because again, I'm not paying too much attention to the table at this point of the season, and I thought Millwall were just a little bit higher. I thought they'd be more like, just if you're having a guess, I'd say something like, say, I'm trying to get the numbers right as well when I'm saying this. I was guessing something like 5-7.
They've played 22, love. Do the math.
Yeah, I was quickly trying to do it. 5-11-7 or something like that. I thought they'd had more draws than losses, put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to admit, I was quite shocked when I saw the stats on it. And they're currently in 22nd place.
Now, again, I'm a little surprised that, because again, I'm not looking really down that end of the table, and I thought Millwall were doing a bit better. So again, I wouldn't say they were mid-table, but I thought they were just sort of like the 15th, 17th area.
No, I thought they were mid-table.
Yeah.
You know, from what I've seen, I must have got it all wrong in my head. I thought they were winning quite a few and drawing, but it was the opposite.
Yeah, it's not just that, but I think that opening day result gave me an idea that they were going to be strong, because I'll admit I backed Millwall that day against Borough. I just said to myself, Tony Pugh is away from home, first day of the season, at Millwall. I just couldn't see him getting a win. And I was right, it was a draw in the end, but Millwall really did seem to play well that day, at least to begin with. I know they obviously let the 2 in. But yeah, I'm a little surprised that it hasn't picked up in that sense, because I thought that would have been a good opening day result and they'd carry on, but obviously something's gone wrong. So can you pinpoint it via your stats?
Well, I can't really. I mean, their top scorer is Gregory, and believe it or not, he's got 7 goals.
I know a few Stoke City supporters have been saying that maybe we should keep an eye on him, not necessarily at the weekend, but in the January transfer window, and I wouldn't say no. I mean, if anything, this game footage isn't exactly helping me out, but yeah, he's definitely an interesting player.
Another one is Cooper, and he scored 5.
I must admit, I don't know a lot about Cooper. Yeah, he's someone who's not on my radar as far as players, so I'm curious there, because there aren't a lot of players in the top 2 divisions of English football I don't know much about. So, you know, I'm not being big-headed there. It's just that I play a lot of I play a lot of FIFA, and, you know, just generally I'm picking up on football news all the time.
I mean, you know more about it than I do because you play on that.
But yeah,
it shocked me that somebody with so many losses could get a goal tally of 7 just in the league.
I mean, for me, that is a real striking thing, that Gregory is at least a talisman for Millwall. If you can keep him quiet, maybe you keep Millwall quiet.
Yeah. Well, them are the 2 that you've got to look out for. Well, Stoke have got to look out for.
Yeah.
Not you personally. But,
I was going to say, I'm not going to be at the stadium.
But and I was also very surprised at the cards. They've only had 8 yellow cards.
Mm-hmm.
Now I say only, I associate Millwall with having a lot more yellow cards.
Yeah.
But what I did pick up on is some of them, there was 3 in one match and 3 in another.
So you think when they get going, they get going?
Yeah, when they want to play dirty, then, you know, that's when they'll pick up the yellow cards. So, and they've only had 1 red.
I mean, again, that's pretty average, you know. I would have thought, you know, only 1 red, that's pretty good in this league. I mean, we've had 2 now, is it? Williams and Etebo, so, you know, I look at it and I think that's not too bad.
No. I mean, I don't think that's bad, actually, for Millwall.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm sorry if there's any Millwall fans listening to this, but you've got to agree that you are an aggressive club.
Well, let's just rephrase a little bit. If anything, they've got that reputation. I mean, I've said this in past episodes that Millwall was probably the one team I wasn't looking forward to, in the sense that I was more worried about the fans. And I know this is turning into the match preview, but it is a case of the other week when Port Vale played at Stoke under-21s, after that, the carnage of some of the Stoke supporters, I'm saying in inverted commas, my thoughts immediately turned to Millwall in the sense that, you know, I've got this image of a club that wants to rebuild its reputation, and idiots tend to intervene and, you know, dampen the image once again. I've been doing a little bit of research on when I last remember Millwall, and it was actually in the FA Cup semi-final against Wigan, and there were just crowd disturbances there, and you're thinking, why did they do it? Because I'll be honest, before then, the only thing I'd even noticed was a game against West Ham, and I thought, okay, that's a derby, there's going to be a bit of ooh-ah, but, when it was just a semi-final, you're thinking, why have you caused trouble then? All you're doing is bringing the club to shame.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that did have a bit of a dampener on my image of the club. And I am sorry if there are Millwall fans listening, because if you are listening, chances are you aren't one of those who causes trouble. You just try and listen to someone's opinion on your club. And it does upset me that I've got that image, in the sense that I know someone could equally have the same image about Stoke, just via an incident like, again, this pub Vale incident we're talking about, or we were told the other day about a group of the Naughty 40s, is it, or something?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've never heard of the Naughty 40s. It's not something I've been exposed to, quite thankfully, I'd say, but equally it's like, well...
Because I've bought your wolf.
But you know what I'm getting at? It's like, I recognise that every fan base will probably have its ultra or extremist element, but equally, it's not something that I've seen in Stoke, at least in my time following football.
Oh, I have.
So I think that might just be a sign you haven't been going for a while, Duck. But yeah, it's...
I used to stand at the back of Boothn End at the Vic.
Yeah.
And I felt safe with all that lot. And there used to be people from the Shell booth, who my husband was one of the gang. And then there was a Newcastle mob. And then you get like the Abbey Alton, the Bentley and all them lot. Oh, and it used to be fun.
I'm going to say, it sort of makes me glad that I wasn't around during that period, because I'm not sure I'd have coped well. I'm going to say...
You had to be prepared for a fight near you, put it that way. They did fight among themselves, them Warwood. But I do remember, I used to go to the match on my own, and when we played Millwall, and again, please forgive me for bringing this up, my parents always used to say, be careful what you're doing and keep your gob shut.
I mean, in fairness, that's good advice, whichever football team, not just Millwall. But
yeah, but...
even if it was...
Even now, I aren't frightened to speak out to people, as you know. But yeah, I'd always stay quiet against Millwall, and you could guarantee that after every match, they'd be there waiting at Stoke End for us.
It seems to be just how you've taught me anyway, it seems to be something that is retaliatory, in the sense that, oh, they did this to us, so we'll do that to them. And not necessarily Millwall, but I'm thinking of the Vale instance as well. It's we have said that if there is another Potters derby in the future, we anticipate there'll probably be some payback from Vale. Not necessarily the majority, but that angry minority that Stoke have obviously shown recently.
The thing is, though, when I went years ago, I mean, I have been since the 70s, folks, I'm just getting back to then, that the Stoke Boothn Enders were as bad as the supporters from the other teams. In fact, they would probably start it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just as bad. Well, not me. Not me. I meant Stoke as a team,
Yeah.
in general.
Well, just getting back to Millwall as a team for a minute, I've got to admit that Neil Harris has done quite a good job over the last couple of years. I mean...
Excuse me, folks.
Don't worry, just coughing your guts up. I'm going to say, I'm thinking back to when they were in the Championship last time, and I can't for the life of me remember who their manager was at the time. But they got relegated, and I'm pretty sure it was Harris who came in. He might have even been there at the tail end of the relegation, but couldn't keep them up. And I wasn't too impressed, put like this, when they hired him, in the sense that I thought, oh, okay, you've just brought him in because he's got a local connection. But I've got to give him credit, because he's built them up. It does feel like a very Millwall team, like when I've seen them in the odd game on television, I thought, that does look like something that Millwall embodies.
Yeah.
And it is something that I think Stoke should always aim for, try and make sure that the team reflects the club as well, because, I think when we've talked about Stoke in the past and we've lacked identity, I think that's something that, even if Millwall aren't doing well right now, it's something that you've got to give praise to Neil Harris for, in the sense that he has at least got an image of the club. Maybe it is struggling at the moment with the results, but at least he's got the identity built, even if now it's struggling to maintain it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the match.
I mean, from a Stoke perspective, we've got games coming up, and I'll try and put them on the screen. We've got the game against Millwall, we've got the game away at Birmingham, and then we've got a game at Bolton away. Them 3 games, realistically, we've got to aim for 9 points. We should aim for 9 points every 3 games, but realistically, we should be aiming for 9, just in the sense that this is the point where we've got to push on. And I'm just thinking about it in the sense that Millwall at home, it's like the Ipswich at home game, and I'm just doubting Stoke's ability to perform. This is where we're getting onto the results, I'll admit, but I am going to go for a 1-1 again, for the simple reason that I can imagine us taking the lead, or even conceding. We could get back into it, but equally, if we take the lead, we can concede. It's just, I don't back Stoke to do what we did against Ipswich, but with a performance as well. So what are your thoughts?
I'm going to knock you out if you carry on with this. I'll go for 1-0 to Stoke. But hopefully, in my mind of minds, I think it's going to be 2-1. But I'll stick to my 1-0.
I mean, I go back to it. I do believe we need 3 wins if we've got any hope of getting into the playoffs this season. But we have got to beat Millwall to make me believe we can do it. Because the thing is, if we beat Millwall, then come the Birmingham and Bolton games, when we're doing our reviews or previews or whatever, then I will have more confidence to say, oh yes, we could get this result. But I've just got no firm soundboard to say, yes, because of this result, I believe we'll get it. So I'm looking for a performance against Millwall that is backed up by a good result.
Right, just before we go, Josh, one of our lovely followers, Pugster.
Oh yeah?
Yes, I don't talk to him, but Josh does, but he seems a real nice lad. And he's asked if we can do our man of the match, which I will with pleasure, Josh. And my man of the match was Joe Allen, but McLean came a very close second.
So we're going to leave it there. We'll touch more on that feature in the next video. If you enjoyed this, please leave the video a like, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.
And if you want to leave any comments, please do so. See you next time. Bye all.
Bye for now, everyone.